would it be okay to be specific about something kind of generally? Because I'm good at this.
Yes.
So, okay, thank you. Okay, so like when I was really like high flying, I was really into this divine partnership, and I would call this person champion. And I was just enjoying creating it and thinking about my wedding, and I was living my life, and it was like no big deal. And then I met this guy 10 years ago. Okay, long story short, it went wonky, didn't talk for a decade, the last couple of years, it's wonky again, right? So I'm like, I can get back into that energy of creating, champion, and being in this energy and not needing it to happen. It could be him, not be him. But because it went wonky with that, whenever I go to that place to just create, I keep going back to that.
You just did a better job of this seminar than we did. You just did. Didn't she just tell you the same story we told you? And didn't her version make more sense to you?
Yeah, so you're asking me, and I know that I can do it, is to be focused and go deep regardless of that.
We're asking you to find satisfaction at a deeper level, not need champion to be in your experience for your satisfaction. We're asking you to look for some other satisfaction that will lead to some other satisfaction, that will lead to some other satisfaction, that will lead to some other satisfaction, that will lead to some satisfaction. But when you start over there with that,
yeah, I'm like looking at that,
and it's gone wonky, you can't control it, then you just keep practicing a vibration that doesn't work for you. Different faces, different places, same experience, because nothing's shifting in your vibration, because you are having knee-jerk reactions. You're responding to conditions, and the response to conditions is controlling your vibrational output, and whatever's controlling your vibrational output is controlling your vibrational input. And so what you're radiating out is what's coming back to you. And so you're just in this spiral where you can't get there from there. You can't get there from there. But what happens is, after doing this for a while, now you've got a new desire. What is it? Got to be an easier way. You got a new desire. What is it? I want to get back to the true heart of who I am. What other desires are coming out of this? I really want to be ready for something or someone who's really a vibrational match to me. It isn't hard to understand conceptually, and you know how we know that? Because you're getting this today. We're offering you laws and concepts, and you are, as a group of people, up to speed with what we're talking about. And now you're going to go out into the real world where you're going to have experiences, and then you're going to be able to come to some conclusions. Am I going to let most of my energy just be in response to what I'm experiencing? Or am I going to let that experience shore up what I really want in my vortex? And am I going to get back to basics, get myself centered, get into such a satisfaction that champion could live or die and I wouldn't care?
Champion.
Exist or don't exist, you are not essential to my alignment, to my equation, to my satisfaction. I have taken the importance of conditions I can't control out of the equation. And now that I've taken conditions that I can't control out of the equation, now I can find satisfaction, which will lead to this, which will lead to this, which will lead to this. But as you run around as peoples and you observe what others are living, and somebody's living something that looks like what you want and you don't have it, and you let that be where your attention is, you're not ever going to be ready for what you want, because there's so much lack-based vibration going on, because you can't get there from there. It's not because you're not a good person, and it's not because you're not a good thinker, and it's not because you're not a good student of the principles. It's not because you're not good at processing. It's because no matter how good you are at anything, well, here it is. Your life is moving so fast that you've got to get back to basics on a really regular basis, because what's manifesting will always feel like a rut. Like $1 million, been there, done that. Like a new car, been there, done that. Like a new relationship, been there, done that, 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 done that. There's got to be more. You keep saying, what's it all about? What is it about? It's about satisfaction. What's satisfaction about? Alignment between you and you. It's only what it's about. So you ask, your inner being joins that, becomes it, radiates it. You've got to bring yourself in vibrational alignment with your inner being's version of your new life. And you know how new your new life is? Really new. It just happened again. There it went 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 again. So your inner being staying up to speed with all of that. You've got to too. But it's not a thought process. It's not a heady process. It's a centered process. It's an allowing process. It's an appreciation process. It's a satisfaction process. You see people, you wonder about this. You talk about it a lot. People write books about it. You read it. You argue about it on cable news. So what's the right way of life? There are people living in villages who have nothing, who are happy, you say. It's a really good book. Make a great movie. Make a great 1,000 movies, and it has. Then there are people living with, by most standards, incredibly perceived abundance, who aren't happy. Oh, what's wrong with them? And then you come to the craziest conclusions. Well, you got to give all your stuff away. You have to give all your stuff away to find out what's real. And then you discover that poverty is not that much fun. It's just not that much fun. And once you're back in poverty, you think they weren't as happy as they were pretending to be. Because I'm doing all the poverty-like things that they're doing, and I'm really not that happy. And so what we're saying to you is it is not about what you're doing, and it isn't about what anybody else is doing. It's only about the relationship between your own evolution, which your inner being is holding, and how much of that evolution or expansion you're allowing yourself to experience right here and now. So satisfaction isn't about having things or not having things. It's not about living in the mountains or living on the coast. It's not about the climate you live in. It's not even about the people you're surrounded with. Satisfaction is about how much of who your life has caused you to become you're allowing to be let in right now. That's all. That's all. And for the most part, other people distract you from that. What are you bringing to the vibrational table when you come with a group of others? Are you ready to be ready so that there you are in your readiness to find the very best of them? Because if you are, only the very best of them will show up with you. But let's say you thought you were ready, but you weren't ready, and something less than the very best of them showed up. Now you're looking at it. Don't you know it? Can't you feel it? Can't you feel your discord? And instead of asking them to be different, why not figure out that you must not be ready for something? It's not a good vibrational match. We don't have to spend any time, say to them, figuring out why neither one of us like being here. It just doesn't feel good to be here. And since it doesn't feel good to be here, then I think I'll go where I know is a surefire thing that I will feel good about. Oh, I've quieted my mind. There's nothing negative in my vibration. I'm back to center. I can feel my source. I'm not thinking about anything, but this is step 3. I don't have to think about it. I did step 1. It's already been thought about. Source has done step 2. Source has already thought about it. All I have to do is find satisfaction right here in step 3. And then. You don't ever have to know anything else. You've got it. This is the formula for living happily ever after. It's the formula to anything that you want. And don't be mad at people who don't know it, that are out there banging on your door asking things of you. Just say hi and pretend like you're listening and don't. Esther was trying to communicate to someone the other day, and then she thought, I wonder if it's a language barrier, and then she realized it wasn't. Then she thought maybe it's a cultural barrier. She didn't know so much about what that meant, but it seemed like a good idea. She was trying to explain why she could. She said these words over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and they could not hear them. And then Esther thought, this is a vibrational variance, and the vibration could very well be in me. I'm trying so hard to make this understood, and it's not being understood, and I'm freaking out because it's not being understood, and I'm far from my ability to communicate anything vibrationally. Happens with your lovers, happens with your kids, happens with your best friends. Have you ever not wanted anything more in this whole experience than to convey your love to someone, and what you hear coming out of your mouth is doing the opposite of that? As you're nitpicking over something that just doesn't matter, and then you're trying to make up for it with more words. To convey love, you got to be a vibrational match to love. Got to start there.